Hey everyone, Bramflix here. With the end of the season coming up, I decided it'd be a good idea to, post an end of season climbing guide to gold. So I'll be looking at a replay that I played off stream, playing Dailin since that's usually what I play, and we'll just follow my camera as I talk about my thought process. So the build I'm running is a handcrafted build that I made just for ranked. This is a crit Dailin build that goes Hospital, Pond, Avenue, Alley, and it really focuses pretty hard on early aggression. And honestly, early aggression is kind of a side note for it. It's actually just there to farm animals early and potentially get meteor and really spike hard with the extra crit chance and crit damage that Fallen Pegasus gives you. But if you don't get it, then obviously you still have the option to ride around. And just to explain my thought process on how I'm moving, here I'm going back to the bridge because this is technically the loot distribution all the way back to that box, and so I'm just going to be walking up to the bridge, seeing what's there. Obviously, since I didn't record my gameplay, you can't really see what I'm opening and looking at, but I see that box and I know that it's not looted because of how many items are in there, so I decided it is a good idea to run into this left side, which is another loot distribution for Pawn. And so we'll be seeing that I'm getting all my items. I think I do miss a second hammer here, and so I do have Alley as my fourth zone. So me missing another hammer is not the worst thing. I can go ahead and get another hammer later on. And also here you'll see that I pick up the branches fairly early because I find the hairband. Oh, actually no, this is the wrong game. Sorry about that. So picking up the branches would have been okay there, but I am trying to get to Alley faster since I am aware that Alley is a fairly popular place to be this early into the game. My inventory is kind of boomed, so I'm going to make my Soju to clear up one space because I still need a nail from the zone, which is why I'm running this way. And as you can see in the Alley pings, there is somebody else in Alley ahead of me, so at this point I'm kind of thinking, will I get my items? I checked the chickens just in case the leather isn't taken, and they aren't, so I actually get to clear up a lot of inventory space as I only need one sheet metal, and I also do get the quiver, so I'll kill this dog. It's kind of a waste of time, but also I need one more leather anyways, and I think I take it and drop the sheet metal into the dog. And so with all that, Night 1 is quickly approaching. The dogs have spawned, rather the wolves have spawned in Alley, so I am a little bit late for that just because of how my route ended up being. If I got my nail a little bit faster in Avenue, I could have teleported in here and got my items way sooner. And so I'm checking these boxes just in case because they're directly on the way, and I am rewarded by seeing a lot of items I need from here as well. The glue, the second hammer, these running shoes are all in that box, so whoever looted this area earlier either didn't need those items or just had them at some point and somewhere else. So the wolves here are alive. We will be killing these every time just because it is our first bit of early experience. I do find a chain, not here. Oh, I do find a chain here, but Dailin, her base damage is pretty good early game, so you can kill wolves when you have 2 or 3 items completed, even if your weapon is not completed. And the main thing to note is that Cerberus is a scaling weapon, so you'll see my AP does go up by 40, but it doesn't mean that I need that 40 AP to kill wolves quickly, especially since they're really fragile early game. And so here we do hear another Dailin running up. I really want this bear experience, and I also want something in that box that I don't quite remember. You'll see that I'm actually being punished for my lack of a branch now, because if I had a branch, I could have my finished, not my finished, but my green headpiece. I'll be fighting here. I'm playing really respectfully just because I know that this island also has items. If I ran forward there, I could have potentially gotten some autos off and then ulted, but obviously she also has ult. But since I don't have a chest piece, you'll see my armor is only 52, so I'm actually really squishy. And so I decided that I don't really want to waste time here any longer. I'll just end up killing the bear here, and we'll see that the other Dailin fights for the bear experience as well. She'll run up, she'll barely whip the bear experience because I get the last auto on it, and then we'll just reset as I grab another piece of meat that I'm not actually going to use. And you'll see my inventory, I'm already prepping oil for fish and chips later on because fish and chips is pretty broken, it's pretty inflated, and about here I am realizing a mistake that I don't actually have my broken metal yet, or broken glass yet, so we'll be making my glass pieces, we'll be finding some branches to complete my items later on. Excuse me there, I had to sneeze for a second. Yeah, so here I have my lighter. I'll be teleporting to Uptown in order to get the last set of oil for the fish and chips, and I'll be having my first fight up there as well. And so the big thing about the fish and chips is that we'll be looking also for alpha or meteor at this point. But since I get a fight early on, I don't actually have a chance to get that. And I hear someone fighting a wolf over there, so I go over there to investigate, but by the time I see them, they're already on. It's an 11, and 11's actually kind of a bad matchup for you early on, just because when she hits her ultimate, she severely outdamages you, and she taunts you and keeps you in the fight. So I don't want to use my ultimate to escape from her. So since I want to potentially fight here in Uptown, I kind of make a weird stutter there as I don't realize the fishes are actually already fished at this point in the game. Super early, but I do think that Camille runs up at this point for a fight when I start crafting my fish and chips. And so one thing with fish and chips is that you want to make sure that when you craft these items, you actually do want to create your first set of fish and chips ASAP. A lot of people will create just the French fries and then just the fried fish early on, and then kind of like craft all the fish and chips later. But you do want to craft them at least one very fast, because you never know when somebody else will come and fight. And it looks like I actually don't heed that advice for myself. So, and it does look like this is not where the fight that I thought was gonna happen will happen. Apologies. I played 3 games today, so and did my first 3 ranked games of this season. So I'm not really sure what goes where, but. Let's see, Alpha has appeared in dock, and I'm planning on going there. I do see a Jackie, so I will try and chase her for a bit. Jackie is kind of a hard matchup for Dailin, which is why I'm surprised that she backed off so quickly. You'll see that, especially in lower elos, that a lot of people will play really conservatively. And here I'll teleport right into a fight that's happening. I play super greedy because I don't know if that Yuki's gonna come back, but I just want to kill this Alex as fast as I can. So I have ultimate available, obviously. I'm kind of disrespecting him, just autoing him. If someone else came by, I would have been punished, but the only person there was the Yuki, and I think if I heard other footsteps, I would have just ulted and ran out. But I really did not want to burn cooldowns when I knew there was a third person nearby, especially since if they showed up, I would just ult there. And it looks like the Yuki did go down to a Bernice up in Chapel. And the thing with Dailin is that a lot of her fighting is cooldown based. If you don't have your ultimate, you have to be very, very far ahead to actually kill anybody. So that's the reason why I'm really being conservative with that ability, because if I miss it, it's a 100-second cooldown, and even if I hit it, it's like 60 seconds. So I'll be out of commission for a long, long time. And I do hear someone here, so I think I'm gonna go for this fight. I hear them cooking. Oh no, actually I think it was a Bernice and I didn't want to fight them, so I'm actually gonna walk away and teleport into archery range to see if the mobs are up. And for some reason in this game, the monsters in archery range aren't actually hunted, or half of them aren't actually hunted. So I look here and I see, I'm like, level 3 wolves, what's up with that? But the other side do have level 13 wolves, which means that they were taken out at some point. And the reason why I teleport to archery range at this time specifically is because wolves take around 5 minutes to respawn, I believe. It's only 4 or 5 minutes. But the reason why I come around this time is because if wolves are cleared on time, they actually respawn around 6:20, and I'm coming a minute later just because people aren't super good with taking wolves on repeat these days, especially with the addition of objectives. Usually people that are strong are going to go for the objectives over the animal timers if they're playing more aggressively. Which is kind of interesting because in the past when you played this game back in season 2 when I really grinded it out, there were no objectives, so the most important things in the game were animal timers. But with objectives now being in the game, people are way looser with how consistently they farm. And in about a minute, we'll have the next reset of mobs here. I'm in archery range looking for this meteor, but someone takes it right before I get there, unfortunately. They were there as the night turned, so they got the meteor for free. But I'm just going to be here. I'm thinking about chasing them, but I don't want to chase them too hard because obviously I want to get the bears and alley. So bears are the ones with the 5-minute respawn timer, so they'll spawn around 4 minutes 10 seconds, so you can expect them to be back up around 9 minutes 10 seconds if people are doing it consistently on spawn, which they should be in higher ranked lobbies. Obviously in lower ranked lobbies it's a little less reliable. Like we saw in archer range, like half the wolves weren't cleared. That could have been a fight. So I walk past here, like I said, a minute for those bears because people aren't clearing as fast as they can, but this bear just respawned, so it's level 17. So it's really important to kill high level mobs if you know they're gonna be there, especially if there's no objectives up like Alpha or Omega or even Meteors, because these mobs have a chance of giving you those items that you've missed out on. And that's the reason why I'm killing them, because I want a Meteor, I want a Force Core, VF Blood, like all those items are super good for Dailin, because she scales extremely well off RNG items. Like,
Let's keep an eye on that.
it's really crazy just how powerful Dailin is when it comes to RNG. She utilizes them best out of almost everyone in the game. However, the issue with that is that you really need RNG to do well late game. So if you come into Final Square and you have no upgraded items or none of your best in slot transition items, you're gonna be in for a really rough time. And we'll see here that it's actually halfway through the game. I only have 1 kill, so I'm not even snowballed that hard. My farm is terrible. I have no RNG. I have a lot of cameras, so I have some good vision control, and my mastery itself is okay considering that I only have 1 kill, because I've been killing a lot of high level monsters like the wolves respawn, the bear respawns. And so when people see low hunt, don't take it too personally if you review your replays and you see bad hunt, because most of the time that means that you've been prioritizing like fish and chips, you've been prioritizing other like map control, maybe trying to get objectives. Usually high hunt is reserved for those characters who, like Dailin, or not Dailin, like Nadine, who really want to get high hunt, or those players who are simply farming, like making farming their priority. And so here, I remember the bear here is respawning, so I'm gonna go quick kill the bear. I don't get any RNG here as well, but I'm really just, you know, I see no pings, there's no one around me. I feel weak at this point, even though my mastery is not that bad. I silenced myself just to get the farm faster, and here the next round of wolves has spawned in archer range, and that's why I'm walking all the way back. So I think it was about 4 minutes is the respawn, and I really haven't gotten any action. There was no pings in this area, which is good in a good, or it's like kind of mixed. There's meter here, so I'll get Pegasus, which is really important. But in ranked games, you really don't want to feel too bad if there's not much action happening around you, because placement is MMR, right? If you die super early with a lot of kills, you get MMR. If you die really late without kills, you sometimes get MMR depending on your placements, and especially in lower elo, you should almost always get points, even if you die really late. Like 0 kills, 3rd place should always get you points, as long as you're below Diamond or Titan. And yeah, so I'm gonna get vision here just in case people decide to teleport into the zone, because like I said, if people are being really good with timers, they'll understand when mobs tend to respawn. And so if someone's looking at the clock, they know that 12 minutes is around when the 3rd set of wolves will respawn, and that's a time where they can get meteors from these objectives. And it's meteors and mithril, which I'll get neither, but archer range is really good because obviously there are 2 set of wolves very close to each other, and you can make mithril quiver, or you can make mithril armor, both of which are really important upgrades for a lot of characters in this game. Personally, while playing Dailin with Cerberus, you want mithril armor as a 1 zone upgrade from archery range, but if you really had the choice, mithril shield and mithril boots are way better in my opinion. Mithril helmet is pretty good, but Pegasus, oh my bad, Pegasus and at least in Halo, are usually way better upgrades. And so these wolves are also up. I've had pretty good control over all these zones, so there's just no contesting. We do see a Bernice in my minimap popping up in archer range really late, but I don't want to fight him because he's also decently strong, and I think Dailin is favored against Bernice, but it's that most of the story is if you don't have to take a bad fight, then you really don't need to take a bad fight if you're unsure. I'm running down to Avenue because I know Wickland's spawning, and this is one of the most important points for Dailin, and this is something you can really abuse in lower MMR. In higher MMR, this strategy falls off way harder because a lot of better players will be much more aware of this happening, but Dailin has a very fast clear speed. You see this flower liquor? I'm going to eat some of my highballs, and I'm trying to aggro Wick, even though I don't have console vision, because I haven't seen any pings. I don't think anyone's fighting, I haven't seen anyone. And there is this Zahir that I don't see in game actually, but I kill Wick, I loot her items, though Zahir comes really late, and I just walk away. And I think he actually decides to chase me because the Zahir wants the items, which is a pretty bad idea because they don't actually know if I burnt any cooldowns. Obviously Frenzy is down, but Frenzy's not important when it comes to killing a character that is as squishy as Zahir. So I'm going to turn around and engage because he's walking up. I'm going to juke the Q. You can tell that I intentionally dodged or didn't use my second auto in that fight because I knew that the most important thing for Zahir in this matchup is landing that tornado so that he can one combo me with Caltrops and his ultimate. And knowing that, you can actually just dance around a lot of players just by using one auto to make them think you're committing to the Q auto combo and then Qing again, because it's just like Dailin as a character has a lot of free mobility, and if their most important CC skill has some sort of wind up, then you can honestly dodge a lot of it for free just by understanding how much damage you have. Obviously, Dailin's damage output is usually locked to the Q auto auto Q auto auto Q auto auto combo, but when you're really fed, like I was since I had Wicklin and Pegasus, you don't actually get that, or it's pretty significant, don't get me wrong, but if you've done the math on like your Q combo or your double autos and just canceling your autos into another auto attack, the damage output is like 30% less, but compared to getting hit by a crowd control ability, which will significantly reduce your DPS and potentially use it to fight, it's honestly not a big deal to just, you know, weave your auto attacks and cancel them just so you get better positioning. And so, open the map here, you'll see that there aren't really good red blood zones available. There's no scrap metal, there is slippers, but there's no scrap metal. I already have Pegasus, so I don't want to make Halo or my Chinese Opera Mask, so Gunbai is really strong when it comes to ranking people down for Dailin because it gives her CDR, it gives her a lot of movement speed, and combined with Taproots, you'll see that all my kills at this point, I have 2 kills, right? Everyone else I kill in this game is just me right-clicking at them. This Camille, it's kind of a weird fight. I think Camille's kind of a bad matchup. I don't play the fight that well because I'm a little squished. I'm a little out of practice, but you'll see that he can't really do too much. This Himo tries a third party, but by the time he even gets close, he's dead, or the Camille is dead. So I still have my ultimate up, just due to how much damage I'm doing at this point in the game with Wicklin. So I'm going to run down this Hyunwoo, and Hyunwoo, this is really knowing the limits of your character, or just how well your character chases. Most people will consider Hyunwoo not really that worthy to chase, but I know at this point that I can kill this character. He didn't E me into a wall, so I know his first attack is on really low cool, or really high cooldown, so I can keep chasing him, and Gunbai gives me a 40% slow, so I kill him before his first attack even comes back up, which gives me more points. He has a Blazing Dress and Mithril Armor, so I can run even faster now. Also, I swapped to Mithril Shoes because, I'll hover over them just so you can see them, but Taproots is a lot more HP, but it's a little slower than Mithril Shoes. Mithril Boots gives me 0.42 movement speed, while Taproots only gives me 0.37. So with my addition of double Mithril items, you'll see my movement speed is like 1.5 or 0.15 higher than it was earlier. Actually, nearly 0.2 than it was earlier. And this really gives me the power to just run down every other character that exists in the game and close up the lobby. And this is what's really important when you're trying to climb is, like, RNG is super important, move speed is really important, and understanding when you're just so strong that no one else can stand up to you. Like, I had 1 kill before Wicklin, I killed 1 person post Wicklin, and now I am suddenly just the strongest character in the game, despite not fighting for objectives, not really going for aggressive plays, and really being, you know, keeping it close to myself early on. And obviously this can backfire if there's someone really fed in the lobby as well, but you don't have to fight that person. You can always take other fights with other people. Wicklin exists, you can always flip Wicklin even against an aggressive opponent because they might be distracted, they might be fighting someone else, they might not be able to see that you're taking Wicklin as quickly as Dailin can. And so here I take the console, I think I do see a Bernice here, and this will be another example of why spamming your Q is really important. I'm gonna auto him and then just walk past him, and he completely whiffs his ultimate, which it's hard to blame the Bernice for missing his ultimate there, purely because when you see a Dailin running at you that's as fed as I am with Gunbai, Pegasus, like Blazing Dress, you have to get this character off of you as a ranged character as soon as possible, and it's really hard to hit someone who's moving at like 4.3 movement speed with midi dashes just flying across the map. And here, I'm just putting the RNG items into a random chest and cemetery. I'm going to gatekeep this entrance, and I know that they're already also in chapel. And this rest of the game is just me closing out the game by chasing people down. I really hope this explains to you guys how you can kind of crush lower elo lobbies, because this isn't my Smurf. I just haven't played ranked as of yet, so this is still placements. But these are all people that are in the silver range as you're climbing to gold. So these are the players and like environments you can expect. Like, this isn't a game where I snowballed super hard early game, right? I had 1 kill up until basically the game was over, and then I got a bunch of move speed items, I got the important upgrades, and now I understand I'm strong enough to run at people. Like, you'll see that these two just run at me. Like, some people complain that they get third-partied or like teamed, but if you're really, I with my wall jump there, please forgive me, but if you understand that you're really strong, you can just walk at people forever. Like, I have so much move speed. This Jackie's a great rat character, but I am just way too fast. Her E is slow on cooldown. I get a little juked out there. She's gonna jump over the wall. I'm just gonna R and follow her and take her out as well. And then at this point, it really is just the 11. I have Hermes on just in case the 11 taunts me, because it gives me way more It gives me way more armor and it gives me tenacity. And you'll see this 11 really just is trying to run away, and I'm just gonna follow her. Gun by slow, you gun by movement speed. Hermes and Mythical Armor, there's just no way she's winning away from me. And in the end, she goes down as well. So we'll cover another game in a different video, but I really hope this guy shows you guys that are trying to climb to gold for the rewards that you don't have to feel pressured to kind of, you know, accelerate the game and snowball at your own pace. You can kind of play slowly, farm your power spikes, and just control certain zones, and then get Wicklin, the most important objective of the game, get RNG items off your opponents, and, you know, just take them out afterwards while you're super strong with that buff. Thank you guys. Please subscribe, like the video, and comment if you enjoyed the video. I'll be trying to post a few more of these before the season wraps up, just because I know a lot of people are rather making the end of season climb. So hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.